Alright guys, technical difficulties this evening. I dropped the ball on the restream, and YouTube channel's got a black screen. Yep, it looks like we don't have anything. Well, we have one viewer. Does it say live? What's it say? I'm getting comments. What's it say? I'm getting comments. It says I'm live. It's available on my side. Maybe refresh your page. Hit the refresh. Yep, look. It says it's available on my side. Everybody on YouTube, can you type a 1 if you see me okay? And hear me okay? I'll just wait to start the show till they give me confirmation that they can see and hear me on YouTube. I forgot to add that to Restream. I don't know. Okay. Okay. Alright, well, welcome to my Paranormal Soapbox. It's me, Justin Brown, again. And we're going to be talking about still photography. Got Jess and Missy here to work the comments. Hopefully there's no more glitches today. I don't know. Sometimes I just drop the ball. And I apologize for that. Are you girls ready?
We are ready. I'm ready.
I'm ready.
Okay. The issue for tonight's discussion is still photography. For a long time, I have been talking about how it's bad. We're going to talk about why Justin thinks it's bad for paranormal research. Of course, it's good if you want to capture history of historical locations, take pictures of your teammates, use it for forensic purposes, like taking pictures, like if you go into a residential case. Let me talk about the pros. Do a residential case, it's good for someone to go in and take pictures of everything. Take pictures of every room, everything in the room. Take pictures of everything, like you're doing some type of forensic detective work, and you just take pictures of everything. Go outside, take pictures of every little detail you possibly can. Those things are good, but they're far and few in between. When you're trying to capture something anomalous, when you're trying to capture something paranormal, it's just not good. The reason it's not good is mainly because there is anomalies that are explainable caused by the camera itself, whether it be due to the optics, due to the operator, due to the settings, mostly due to auto settings. And it's just, bottom line, it's just not very good data when it comes to capturing what's going on in an environment at any given time. One snapshot in time is not going to give you the data that you need to determine whether something's paranormal or not, or potentially anomalous. The common things that you see are the dust orbs, the pollen, the water moisture, bugs, etc. being illuminated by flash photography and captured on the lens or on the sensor, your SD card, as a photo. And a lot of people believe that they're capturing entities. That's just not the case. When you see something lit up or something kind of blurry or out of focus or translucent and they're round and fuzzy looking, that's just something that's out of focus before you get to the focal point between the lens and the focal point. It's right in there in front of that lens. It's being illuminated. And it's not paranormal, right? It's not paranormal. A lot of people are searching for ghosts, and they'll find ghosts in their still photography because they're not using critical thinking. They're not educated on just the basics of photography and the optics that cause these type of anomalies. So, and then you get into other camera settings like slow exposure time or slow shutter speed, long exposure time. What long exposure time or slow shutter speed will do is it'll blur images. It'll introduce any type of blur with any camera shake or anything moving in the frame. It will expose it for a longer time. The light streaks that you get, you'll see in low light photography or night photography that a lot of people like to say are rods, are, light anomalies streaking across the photo. Those are not paranormal either. Those are just caused by slow shutter speed and long exposure. And it's easy for any basic photographer to figure that out. So then we have trickery. And this is a huge one nowadays, right? It's too easy to fake a photo. And you have to pretty much, when you analyze a photo, you have to go in and check the metadata and the EXIF data and make sure that there's no fakery being put into the photo. So, and then you got these people that do the long exposure photos of a person or a cloaked person, and they just move out of the frame real quick where it kind of makes them look translucent. That's a problem. That can be easily created. And then you have the photo apps that put ghosts into the photo for you, Photoshop, etc. So lots of room for fakery. Very, very easy for anybody to do. And you just don't know what's going on when you're capturing a photo. I know a lot of people will state that if the photo is good as long as you take 3 in succession. Well, no, it's not. It's not good enough. When you're capturing video, the lowest frame rate that you'll record in video is 24 frames per second. Every second, your camera is taking 24 still photos and running them together. That's not 3, that's 24. So if you're not at least taking 24 photos a second while you're taking photos, don't even do it. But while you're taking photos during your paranormal investigation, at any point, what you can do is mount an action camera on top of your regular camera and hit record and record video as you take photos. I have suggested this and recommended that people who are doing still photography on paranormal investigations do this so they can cross-check with their photo with their action camera, look at the video footage, and just see what's going on when you capture the still image at that time. You just sync it up. And it's very easy to determine what's going on. So, why is this important? Why am I bringing this up? Well, I'm still seeing a whole bunch of paranormal investigators taking still photography, especially flash photography, in dark rooms at night while they're on investigations. That's just bad. There's no reason why you should do that. We got high-speed cameras. I mean, it's even good to record in 60 frames per second when you're doing video. It's just more data, right? You slow it down. You have more frames to work with when you slow the image down. And you're going to get much more analysis and data to determine what's going on in the frame. And this is what you're trying to do. You're not, like when you're analyzing video, you just don't take out one frame and look at it to determine what's there. You look at it, you slow it down. You might want to brighten it up in some cases if you don't have enough light. That's okay. But bottom line is, still photography should not be used during your paranormal investigation. There's too many things that cause explained anomalies that can be mistaken or misinterpreted as paranormal. B, camera settings and operator's error. And C, fakery, forgery. It's all bad, folks. And I want to ask you a question. A lot of you are probably part of a lot of paranormal groups, right? How many times do you see people posting up horrible photos, even horrible video clips? They just look like they have no idea what they're doing. And they're trying to submit this stuff to somebody who may know a little bit about the paranormal field, to maybe someone like me or even above me, maybe some like high paid photographer or somebody that, works on really high end jobs when it comes to videography and photography. They're presenting this stuff to them, and we're just face palming the whole time. They got a million red circles in them. The crappier the camera it is, the more you have to deal with pareidolia. They're seeing faces in wood grain. They're seeing faces in smoke and fire, and in the noise and grain in the photo. And there's no end to it. That there seems like there's no progress in the education of the main population when it comes to people who feel like they're dealing with a haunting. They're interested in the paranormal. They want to figure it out, but their biases are holding them back. More and more as I study this field, the more I see that people just want to believe what they want to believe, and they do not care about seeking the truth. And this is not just about the paranormal. It's in politics, religion, across the board. It's no different no matter what you're talking about. You have this small community of people who are critical thinkers. They try to be objective as they can. They're perfectly fine with not knowing for sure what's going on if there is not enough data or not enough proof or lack of proof to say what it is or what it's not. So that's where we are. Will this live stream stop you from taking photos during your paranormal investigation? If you're doing that now, probably not. But at least I want you to start thinking about why it's bad. Maybe you'll start learning more about photography, taking classes, reading books, maybe even going online and educating yourself on photography. I think that way you guys will that don't know much about photography will start to weed out all the false positives and all the explainable things out of your photos that you believe that was unexplainable all this time. So that's what I want to happen. That's the takeaway of this show. We can go ahead and get into the shout outs, see what kind of beautiful people we have to talk to tonight, and go from there.
You want me to go first?
Yeah.
Okay. I have Bill Davis. I have Derek Schreiner. I have Josh Bender. I have Marilyn Borst. I have Valerie Wright. I have Troy Haney, Daryl Godsey, Ken Ace Taylor, Josh Fritz, and Daniel Everson. And on RU Media, I only have Donna Flynn, and she hasn't said anything, but it says I have 16 viewers on RU, so, but nobody said anything.
That's okay. You can if you want to. If you don't want to, you just sit back and relax. Maybe you're listening to me to fall asleep. Maybe I'm boring. At least I'll be that helpful to you. But if you want to learn about still photography and paranormal research, stick around. We're going to have a discussion about it. Who we got on YouTube? You're muted.
Okay. We have Sam Thomas, Scotty Fox, Hannah Hannah Spalding, Kasha, if I said that right. Truth Paranormal.
What's up, guys? Any interesting comments? Anybody yelling at me, agreeing? What's going on?
No. Kasha wants to know, have you ever captured any shadow figures in photos?
No, I've only cotton's not a word. I've only caught one
That's Jessica's
thing.
language.
Yeah, I've only taken a photo of one thing that I can't explain that seems to fit the description of what people see. And it's the Moonville ghost photo that I've had shown people for a long time. It was captured back in 2014, I believe. And no shadow people. I've seen plenty of photos of shadow people that people have submitted. None that are like mind-blowingly like, whoa, what's that? But even with the photo that I can't explain, I just can't keep it up there with the rest of my stuff that's wowed me, because I know that it's just a very poor photo in a very dark place with a crappy flash, and I can't control how the light is entering the lens at all. I just don't know. And when you don't know, it's just not that great when it comes to evidence, when it comes to capturing something that you believe is paranormal. But I have not.
Kasha says, I can't tell you how many times I get photos every day, messages to me saying, what do I think of this? And there are usually the same ghost apps in different pictures. Drives me nuts.
Yeah.
I'm sure you can relate to that. I every once in a while I still get a photo.
Well, see, the camera is on everybody's phones. It's so easily just to pick up a camera and take a shot and look at it, right? When you're not getting anything, when you're looking for something that's elusive and you're not getting anything, the brain will try to reach for things, right? That's just human nature. So when you get something that kind of looks iffy, you're like, what's that? That wasn't in the prior 20 photos I took. Is that a ghost? Is that paranormal? So the human mind reaches and reaches. And what I advocate to people is, instead of reaching for anomalies, reach for knowledge. Learn about what you're doing for a very long time until you know that you're good at photography. For example, have other people tell you whether you're good at photography, whether you're knowledgeable about it. Inject yourself in a community of photographers. That's what I did early on. One of my photographer friends that I met through paranormal circles is named Guy Teague. He's a gentleman who lives in Buffalo Gap, Texas. Very good photographer, very knowledgeable about cameras and tech and all that kind of stuff. And we instantly hit it off because we're nerds when it comes to photography, and we both appreciate the technical aspects of it, the education required to determine what's going on in the photo. I forgot to mention that a lot of times when people do flash photography, their hand will get in the way of the flash or whatever's illuminating the photo, and it'll cause shadows. So that might be the reason a lot of people see shadow figures or shadow anomalies or masses in their photos, is called a flash obstruction. And when the camera strap gets in the way, you maybe turn it sideways, or your hand gets in there, or your hair kind of wraps around. Yeah, it happens a lot. Yeah, television really got the orb fascination going back around 2008, 2009. It's mind-blowing just how that notion has stuck in people's minds. What's crazier, David, is Ghost Adventures are still labeling dust and insects as light anomalies. They're still doing it to this day. They're supposed to be, they have titled themselves one of the most knowledgeable paranormal groups in the world, and they're still labeling these things as paranormal. That's how you know that they are creating content for the uneducated. And if they used their popularity, their resources to educate, instead to take advantage of their lack of knowledge and their ignorance on the subject matter to entertain them, if they would just educate the people and keep hammering home and hammering the agenda that still photography, dust, orbs, bugs, all that stuff, it's not paranormal. Uh-oh, here we go. The comments are coming in. You want to try reading any of these, Jess, or?
I'm replying back to a comment right now.
When you take a picture, think of your camera or video camera like a printer. When it records data, it does progressive scanning from left to right. Actually, it's from top to bottom. A photo camera sensor scans from top to bottom.
Valerie asked, what about the old cameras or camcorders? I can't find the story online about a lady who took pictures or video. I can't remember, but she had a lot of interesting images come up. like spirits, ghosts, other dimensions, crafts, etc.
Okay, well, I'm not sure exactly the photographer or the cameras used. The older the camera, the worse it is. Now, there was a fuzzy time between 2000 and 2008 where digital cameras probably weren't as good as photo cameras, film cameras, but now digital photography is at least matched and even surpassed the quality of film exposure. So, when you're talking about older equipment, you're still dealing with the same potential of false positive. Okay. It's what you won't need to understand is light. It's not just photography. You got to understand the physics of light and diffraction. When light goes through glass, especially lenses, they're curved. Okay. So it's going to cause all kinds of things, and all kinds of possibilities can happen when it comes to light. Just light. Okay. Lens flare, glares. Okay, diffraction, chromatic aberration, all kinds of things are involved. And that's why I stress the education so much, because a lot of these people that claim to be professional spirit photographers aren't even professional photographers. And that's a problem. I've never met a professional photographer who say that a camera is a good tool for paranormal research at all. I've never met one that does photography at least as a serious hobby, if not professionally. So if you can give me the name, I can address it specifically. But no, older equipment does not do anything different at all.
I have a Scott Fithin. I think that's how you pronounce his last name. I'm sorry if I pronounced it wrong. Tracy, I don't even know how to say their last name, so I'm not even going to go there. And then Anthony Morano and Robert Murphy are on REU.
Awesome, guys. Thanks for joining us.
Betty just got onto Facebook or YouTube as well.
And Sandy just jumped on Facebook.
All right. Let the shenanigans begin. You can address this from so many different angles. Let's talk about the spectrum of light for a moment. I know this will cross over into videography a little bit. A lot of people believe that ghosts can be seen in different wavelengths of light. UV on the top end and infrared on the bottom end. Visible light is here. Okay, I don't know the exact nanometers and spectrums, but below the visible light is infrared. Above the visible light is ultraviolet. Okay, we can see some bands in the infrared and the ultraviolet. Okay, but if you're going to make an assumption or hypothesize that ghosts come through the infrared spectrum, they will leave some clues to let you know if that's true or not. Normal cameras have infrared filters, but they do allow some infrared light to leak through a little bit. So if you hold up your camera and then you take your TV remote and you hit your TV, let's see if I have a remote close to me. Yeah, here we go. Oh, reach around here. See if this shows up. Let's see. Oh, I turned my TV off. That wasn't a good idea. I don't know. Can you guys see this light? You see this light blinking? The camera? Probably not. It's probably dead. But let me see if I get my TV to come back on. That might have been a mistake. But when you see infrared light, it comes across as kind of pink. And you could tell if it's infrared or not. Let's go to source. There we go. See if HDMI 3 is the right one. Nope. Go to source. There we go. It's working now. If you go to the UV side of it, it'll look really dark violet, really dark purple. Maybe even a little bit of indigo mixed in, but it's mostly violet in color. So if you think the entities are emitting that kind of light, it'll have a color to it in the normal light spectrum. Now, camera sensors that are designed for infrared will not see color in ultraviolet the same way our eyes do, or our camera sensors do with the infrared filters on them. So if you want to do research to find out if ghosts come through on infrared or any other type of spectrum of light, the best thing to use is a regular camera and make it super sensitive to light and see what color it comes across. People use full spectrum cameras, and that's actually a good idea, but there's some problems with full spectrum cameras. And we'll get into that if you want me to. If you want me to talk about full spectrum cameras, type 1 in the chat and we will. Is there any other questions or comments before we do that?
No.
I don't think so.
Okay. Tracy says, ultraviolet seems to be a spectrum that interests me for para stuff. Why is that? I wonder why that is. I don't know why. Derek is, I didn't know he put a remote with his lights.
Well, yeah, because I think Derek commented, Justin, use your deadlight remote. And so that's why Sam says, I didn't know he put a remote with his lights.
I don't know if you can see this light here.
Of course, Josh said Uno.
No. It's not bright enough to see. This regular light kind of bleeds it out a little bit. You can't see it. But you could try it at home. Just take your cell phone camera and a remote and a kind of like a dim or just a low light environment and shoot into the camera. You'll see the infrared light come through. And full spectrum is cool because you will see regular light, UV, and the infrared spectrum. Not the whole spectrum, but a wider band of it. There's one drawback from that, though. When you allow infrared and ultraviolet light, especially ultraviolet light, to enter most low-quality camera lenses, it'll cause it to be blurry. And you'll lose detail and sharpness that way. And that's not really that great of a side effect, but you'll see all different kinds of light come into your camera. It's your sensor, so that's the benefit of it. So if you're going to try to look for things, try to use full spectrum, try to use really good glass, like a DSLR, a mirrorless camera, a high-end video camera, something like that.
I have 2 ones.
All right, well, there's my full spectrum.
From Josh and Derek.
Oh my God. They already know.
Gilson just joined on RU.
What's up, buddy?
I have 27 viewers on RU Media.
Yeah, RU Media's beating out Justin Brown.
Yep.
We are inferior. We are inferior. That's a good thing, though. I really want RU Media to grow. And you're going to be seeing a lot of cross-promotion on this show with all the RU Media content creators that stream throughout the week. So be prepared at the end of the show for that. Hello, Mountain View. What's going on, buddy? I sent you the link to the picture of my page. Does Kasha have a photo? She wants you to look
got
at
it. I don't know if she wants me to send it to you and then you look at it. I'll have to ask her.
Kasha, do you want us to take a look at it on the show or in private or what? Let us know. Let us know. So Joseph has a question, it looks like.
Yeah. He said, why would ghosts need clothes? And comments and connect to your subject tonight. Wouldn't we see them?
Wouldn't we see the clothes or wouldn't we see the ghosts? Because they're wearing clothes.
I don't know.
That's a good question. You have to, full body, people claim to have full body apparitions in their photographs clothed. Okay. No one knows if ghosts are real. And on this show, we're open-minded about that, obviously. And if they're wearing clothes, what's up with that? Well, I can only speculate. There's no way I can be for sure why that is. But let's go down a rabbit hole and brainstorm about this. I've thought about this. One possibility, is you're looking into an alternate plane of existence where the people you're seeing are clothed. We perceive them as ghosts, but maybe they're not ghosts. Maybe they're from a different dimension, different time. Okay? Possibility number 2. You might be seeing something not with your eyes. You might be seeing it mentally or psychically, as they say, or with the third eye. If you're seeing things with the third eye, some strangeness can occur. You can see what your brain is interpreting as a clothed person or thing. Something can be projecting an image to you that's clothed. That's possible. Any other possibilities out there in the chat? Please give me your opinion to answer that question, because I really, really want to know what you think.
RU Media said, I wouldn't want to haunt folks naked. Nobody needs that, dead or alive.
That's right. That's absolutely right.
Derek said, I'm haunting an assless chaps.
Pixar, it didn't happen. Josh is liking that image in his head right now. Well, when I see things, it's either a shadow or something weird looking. It's never a dressed thing or a naked thing. You know what I mean?
Paul is watching, by the way.
Paul Browning?
Browning.
Okay. Welcome, Paul. Your input is appreciated. So, yeah. What was the question? Oh, we're talking about still photography, paranormal research, why it's bad. And the question was, why do ghosts wear clothes? That was one of the questions from the chat. True that. Scott. And then
it could be where dimensions touch and the veil is thin, and what you are visualizing is from another time.
Yeah, I think that's more plausible than ghosts, to be honest. I mean, if you're going to be honest, the things that we're seeing and interacting with and experiencing, I believe that it's very plausible that we're dealing with multiple dimensions where other people are. The reason why I say that is in physics right now, the leading theories in quantum theory and quantum mechanics suggest dimensions other than ours, multiple ones, whether it be parallel dimensions, multiverses, or other planes of existence with different laws of physics, different things happening. Now, the many worlds interpretation, when the wave function was being thought through, that's the most interesting one. Okay, because when you look down to the subatomic level, electrons and photons are whizzing around, and it's fuzzy. You don't know exactly where they are. Sometimes they're in multiple places at once. It's a waveform. They act like waves. So there's a possibility that it's here. There's a possibility that's here. It's all a probability wave. And what quantum physics says is we're experiencing the collapse of this probability wave. So that's why we're solid. That's why my hand's here and only here, and that's why the moon's there and only there. And that's why everything is predictable through Newtonian physics, calculus and all that. We can predict the motions of big things. So when you get down to the subatomic level, it's peering into something that we do not see and we do not normally perceive. And that's interesting because a lot of these things that we're experiencing, like even the voices on our recorders, could be from other dimensions that are so close to ours. But science says that we're supposed to be decohered from these. We're never supposed to interact with them. But what if they do? What if they touch? What if they're coexisting? What if some senses can reach through and perceive remotely from one dimension to the other? Those are the things that need to be thoroughly studied.
I sent you the pictures.
Facebook?
Yes, on your page, on your personal
Messenger then.
Yes.
Paul Browning said the clothes concept to me is a result of the material ghosts are made of, are controlled by the ghost itself, so they can appear however they want. Could explain why they're always wearing white.
Interesting. Result of material ghosts. Yeah, he's suggesting that the ghosts control what is being seen. I would love to know the mechanic to that. If that's true, that's very fascinating. I think that goes along with the whole psychic projection thing. I think that kind of correlates. Let's see here.
I'll read you what she wrote when she was first talking about it. I need to send you this one photo that my niece took at Stanley Hotel. She's also a professional photographer, as I am, and my mom was, so she was quite blown away when she kept you with this image.
Yeah, that photo is such a small photo, I can't even see it very well. See if I can look at it on my phone, if it's any better.
I think I'm seeing, like, when I look at it, I'm seeing like a reflection, like if she took the photo off of the computer, which I mean, I could be wrong, but it looks like there's some writing in it. So I think that's what's distracting me.
Okay, my friends, here, let me switch scenes. Okay, my friends, here is 2 pictures. I put them in a collage for a quick view for now. Hope it gives you a better view, an idea of how these 2 pics were taken within seconds apart. Also, you can see everyone on the tour in the top pic, and while they didn't see anyone else enter the room. Here, my perfect example of why you should have been recording video at this time. Okay? You should not be taking still photography. So, the top picture, what's supposed to be paranormal? Do you know what's the anomaly in the photo? Yeah, I don't. Oh, it's the shadow figure in the doorway? That's the only thing I see different. It's the only thing I see different. I can barely zoom in. I don't see anything that would suggest anything paranormal in that photo at all. Sorry. Hello, Paul. Sam says, I seen one that looked like a bunch of little balls of energy together to form a human walking back and forth. That's crazy. Whatever a ghost is made of. Oh, was Paul talking about what ghosts were made of?
When his first, that was to go along with his first comment. The closed concept, to me, is a result of the material ghost.
Oh.
Or whatever ghosts are made of.
The physical manifestation.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's saying that ghosts can physically manifest that way. That is also possible.
Eddie Pence just jumped on RU. He also said still photos. Paul said still photos show nothing. We don't know what happens before or after the slice taken by the camera. Video is our best tool in that regard.
Yes. Yes, it is. By a long shot.
She sent me another clear photo, and I forwarded it to you. I think I did.
Is it? I don't want to look at it unless it's the original photo. Yeah. Well, here's another thing. When you're going to send a photographer or a paranormal investigator a photo, I only want to see the original, and here's why. For the one thing, you're going to get the highest quality that it came from out of the camera. You're going to get the metadata and the EXIF data that comes along with that. You can see all the stats and all the little technical aspects of how it was shot. You could tell if it was faked, all that type of stuff. That's the only way I will review a photo. There's no way to know if it's been tampered with at all. Even if you trust a source, secondhand, third hand, you just have to have the original photo.
Scotty says, any thoughts regarding photos that has someone's face smeared, even in, say, a group shot?
Mirrored. Slow shutter, long exposure can cause that type of effect. You would have to give me a specific example of that, Scotty.
Tracy asked, why do you think some people see apparitions that are like a white mist while others see shadow people who appear dark?
I have some ideas to explain that. Whether they are true or not, I do not know. I have not been able to test yet. The mist-like apparitions, here's my leading idea. If the paranormal entity or event has anything to do with magnetic fields, okay, if the energy creates a magnetic field, the magnetic field will attract subatomic particles and radioactive stuff that comes from the sun and that's in the environment. Okay, it'll collect it like a magnet will, and the magnetic field has lines in it where these particles can collect. Okay, and when the particles collect in a concentrated enough place, the radioactive or the charged particles can ionize the gas in the atmosphere, and that'll cause mist. Okay, so if you get enough of that together and you shine the right amount of light, or if it's in the right lighting condition, you will see that it'll appear like a mist. If you look at cloud chamber footage and photography, you see the little mist-like streaks in the cloud chamber that this effect creates. And I believe that if you have a strong enough magnetic field, it can create these entities to manifest like that. Now, the shadow people, there's two possibilities. One's far-fetched. One is maybe, okay? Let's just say the shadow anomaly is black because, well, here's three. The shadow anomaly is black, okay? So it might be absorbing light or bending light away from your eye. If it's absorbing light, there's a few things that absorb light, especially in infrared. If you're looking through an infrared imager, camera, what have you, CO2 or water vapor will absorb infrared light, not regular light, but infrared light. Okay, so if whatever's causing the blackness is made out of CO2 or water vapor, it will look black. If you're just looking at it with your eyes and it's black, it's either whatever the entity's made out of is absorbing it, the light, or it could be bending it away. The bending light away you can actually see when you look at heat energy. If you look at a hot pavement or a hot road in a desert or on a hot summer day in your neighborhood, you'll see those mirage effects, and you'll see reflections, you'll see pools of blackness. That is light being bent away from your eye, from your retina, because of the heat energy. And if entities are made out of some type of form of heat energy, it can cause that. Now, the far-fetched one is one I like very much. Now, there is proteins in your eye. One of the proteins in your eye is called a cryptochrome, Cry4 cryptochrome. Cry4, scientists have just recently discovered that animals and insects use Cry4 for navigation. They see magnetic field lines in the earth, and it comes up as a shadowy, fuzzy little lines. And they see that with the Cry4 cryptochromes when they're high enough, because the protein levels fall and rise throughout the day. When they see that, they can use that for navigation and know where north is. And humans can have Cry4. The levels go up and down throughout the day, and if the lighting conditions are just right, and you have a lot of Cry4 cryptochrome in your eyes, you may see a shadow anomaly where there's a magnetic field. So that could be why you're seeing shadow figures. Food for thought. Anybody else that have any theories, please, by all means, let me know. Yep, moisture in the air can reflect when flash is used, even if you never saw the moisture with your own eyes. That's absolutely correct. A lot of people, when they take photography, they're breathing and it's cold out or it's really humid. They'll take a snapshot in the flash, and it will light up their breath. They'll see this mist and they think it's a ghost. Happens all the time.
Tracy said, is it possible that the shadow people are the entities from the parallel dimension versus ghost?
Yes. I have a whole show on this. If you're a higher dimensional being and you're traversing into our dimension, you will only see a cross section of that entity, and it could show up as black. Okay, so let's just say this is our dimension. Get a writing utensil here. I'll take my earplugs out so I can read utensils. Oh, get a marker. Okay. You'll see this analogy on a lot of TV shows that teach and educate on string theory. So here we go. Okay. If my pen is a higher dimensional object, let's just say that we're 2D and the entity is 3D. And here's the entity. Its geometry looks like this pen. And it wants to traverse and enter this dimension. So once it touches our dimension, it's going to pierce through it and leave that. And that is what we will see. It will look two-dimensional. Okay? But it's actually higher dimensional than the dimension it's traversing through. So we only see that lower dimensional geometry of it. So in a way, that is plausible.
I have a question. What were you calling for the extra proteins in the eye? Starts with a C.
Cry4 cryptochromes.
I have somebody in the chat. Can you type that out? She's wanting to know how to spell it. She wants to research it a little bit.
And YouTube?
On YouTube. Mm-hmm.
I can just share an article about it.
Okay.
Type in cry for cryptochrome.
Hannah had a question. Just let me know when you're ready.
Go ahead.
How is it possible for you to feel certain things when you read photos? I think that's so interesting.
Me and Jess talk about that quite often. Sorry, I'm multitasking here. Give me a few seconds. I shared the link of the cryptochrome stuff in YouTube. Anybody can Google search Cry4 cryptochrome bird navigation if they want. So, okay. Looking at things in photos and getting readings. The brain is very powerful and can be very intuitive, and it's a pattern. It picks up on patterns very well, and it picks up on visual data. It relies on visual data very well, and there's a lot of unconscious connections that the brain makes when you receive visual information. Okay, start with patterns. If I look at Jess right now, I'm looking at the lines in her face, how her glasses frame her eyes, her posture of her hand on her mouth, how she's sitting, how she's blinking. All this information is going into my brain, okay? And the brain connects dots. So the first thing I'm going to see is where those dots lead me to. Maybe she reminds me of someone I know. Maybe something she's doing is mimicking something that I've seen someone in somebody before. The way she's talking, the way she's acting, the way she's reacting, the way she smells. You know, all that information is crucial when it comes to readings, okay? And how people perceive the data that's coming in. So the brain connects all these dots, and voila, you'll get something. Now, the reason why a lot of psychics are accurate when they use this type of information is because the universe is patterns. It is pattern recognition. And that's why we see a lot of our, doppelgangers out there. They say that everybody has a double. That's because genetic patterns. That's because when you think that you're very unique, you're not. There's a lot of similarities in your behavior, in your physical appearance. There's somebody out there that's probably almost just like you. If they're not on this earth right now, they lived at one point, or they're in another dimension or another planet in another solar system and maybe in another universe. So that's a quick answer to that. Sounds like Justin's in love.
I do have another question by Hannah that is off topic, if you want me to ask it.
Yeah.
Okay. She wants to know, what are your thoughts on the paranormal making items move?
Like ghosts and stuff, or people's like psychokinetic powers?
I'm probably thinking that she's thinking of, spirits and ghosts making things move.
Okay. If you want to talk about telekinesis, it's the ability of the mind manipulating physical systems, making things move, doing anything physically with the mind. Psychokinetics, right? So if a person that's living, mind over matter, whatever survives death and turns into ghost form can do the same thing because that survives, whether it's in a body or not. The other end of that is it could be a form of ultrasonic levitation or infrasonic. Let me look that up again. It's either infrasound, ultrasonic levitation. Let me see. Wow, it didn't work. Ultrasonic levitation. There we go. Yeah, ultrasonic levitation. What that is, we have experiments where we take very light weighted beads, maybe foam, maybe plastic, and we create compression waves with ultrasound. We have two amplifiers, okay, of ultrasonic amplifiers here and here. Can you see my hands? They'll make compression waves that are layered, like here, 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 and here. If that little bead is in between the compression waves, it can levitate. If spirits, entities, ghosts, what have you, can vibrate our atmosphere and cause these compression waves, in theory, they can move things with ultrasonic levitation. There you go. There's my two maybes.
I have another photo to send to you.
I knew this was going to happen. Go ahead. Is it an original photo out of the camera? Original?
I believe, yeah. I would say so.
Okay, email it to justinbrown@interfacedeath.net, please.
Oh, I just sent it to you on Messenger.
If they send it over Messenger, it's going to lose metadata. It's not the original.
Okay.
Yeah, if you have any raw photos straight out of the camera that you want me to take a look at, make sure you send me the original file at justinbrown@interfacedeath.net. I will gladly take a look at it for you and give you my feedback. And I have a community of photographers who would be glad to take a look at it for you. No problem. Any other questions from the Peanut Gallery? Yay, no. Mind over matter. If you don't mind, it don't matter. Hey, that's something to live by.
Paul said shredded material from the retina that floats in the eye can give you moments where you might think that you see something in the corners of your eye as well.
Yes, and even protein buildup. Jess has told me that there's been protein buildup in her eye that would cause little floaters.
Yeah, I see black specks.
Mm-hmm.
Like, especially if I'm outside. And inside, if I'm looking at a white wall, I see black specks, and it's not like when I move my eyes, it constantly moves. And if I do move my eyes, then it's weird.
It is weird. And if you didn't know what was going on, you might see how somebody would think that what might be paranormal or something. Maybe depends on how hard you're looking for ghosts, right?
Yeah, I've always had that as long as I can remember. And it's not all the time.
I know we still have a lot of viewers to entertain here. If you're watching on RU Media Network, if you have any other questions for me, experiences that pertain to the still photography topic or anything paranormal related, I'd be glad to answer it or talk to you about it. That's what I do the show for. I'm not only telling you guys what I think. I want to know what you guys think. I want to see how you respond to this information, what stuff that you have to teach me. I mean, it goes both ways on this show. And that's what I like about it, because many times on the show I've learned some things. I see those black specks too, very irritating. They can be. The older you get, the more of those things can occur with the proteins and the thickening of the cornea in your eye and all that stuff. It's not good. Not good at all. And let's reiterate while we're wrapping up this show, still photography can be used in your paranormal investigation in a very limited way. If you want to do a psychological profile or investigate people or a location with things that you need to know about the location, do it forensically. Take detailed photos of everything in the environment. Okay, this will help you go back and cross-check the data that you have. Maybe, you will find something. I've been on investigations where I found something in a photograph that answered a question I had, whether if something was there or not. Like a broom or something on, like a globe on a dresser that might have refracted or bounced some light around the room or something, or maybe just any you don't know when a little piece of information will help you on your investigation, and photography can help you with that, especially when you're trying to see what type of people you're dealing with, what type of environment you're dealing with. So take as many photos as you can. Just make sure you're taking valuable photos. Do you feel that if spirits want to avoid being detected on camera, can they? Very good question. I don't know how we are able to see spirits. I only have ideas. So based on my ideas, sometimes they reveal themselves to you and through manifestation, physical manifestation. So they can choose whether they physically manifest to you or not. So if that's true, then yes, they can decide whether you see it or not. Paul says dirt on the eye can cause trash that you see floating down the eye. Absolutely. What's Sandy kidding about?
She said, thanks for calling me out on my age. LOL.
You're welcome.
Sandy, if he's calling you out, he's calling me out too.
You can call me out anytime you want, okay? Call me out on anything. I deserve it. I deserve it all. Yeah, so the takeaways are, if you're going to do still photography, stick an action camera like a GoPro or a GoPro clone on your camera with an adapter that fit in the cold shoe. Hit record. So when you're taking photos and you're like, whoa, the hell's in this photo? You can look back on the video and see what was there if there's anything to see that was there. And that's much more information. That's also available on my quick tips on my website and my YouTube channel. There's a few little quick tips I put out a couple years ago. I would like to put out more, but I'm so engrossed in the video editing for the film production we do on a regular basis with our group. I don't have a lot of time to do that. So I try to do a lot of educational stuff on this show, at least. So we're going to wrap this up. Thanks, girls, for helping me out. Great job. And we're going to wrap it up. Thank you very much for joining me, especially in RU Media. Now, don't go anywhere, okay? We are kicking off a campaign on the RU Media Network to cross-promote, to get people from this show interested in the other shows that RU Media Network host on their network throughout the week. We're going to talk about those in a minute, so just don't go anywhere. You're going to see video promos of all these shows, okay? But we're going to talk about these video links here real quick. If you want to check out what my paranormal group does specifically, please go to www.interfacedeath.net. You'll see everything there. If you're watching on YouTube, you can follow Justin Brown Paranormal Research on Facebook. We're on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Please subscribe if you have not already. You can support the show through patreon.com/supportinterfacedeath, or you can PayPal me directly at Justin Kane Brown 1979, or the PayPal link. During the shows, it pops up a notification if you just want to do a one-time small donation, because whether we like it or not, all this content that we provide and all the research that we do, it's expensive. So any help is appreciated. If you want to go check out our Discord channel, you can do that as well. If you're on Facebook, please, I urge you to join UPS, United Paranormal Society. It's a place where we can discuss and share all of our ideas, all of our work, anything you want, cryptids, UFOs, ghosts, what have you. It's all welcome at UPS. Send an invite or send a join invite, and I'll accept it when I can. So that's where I'm going to leave it. Thank you very much. We love you. You're in our heart. Tomorrow, we have Alex Smith from TEXSBR joining us from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern. I am very much looking forward to that. It's going to be awesome. So Necromancer Live Show on Necromancer Live Show Facebook page, on Interface Death YouTube channel, and Twitch and Periscope. You will see that tomorrow night. If you're interested, please check that out. Make sure you follow and subscribe so you don't miss it. Okay? Stick around. We have promos from Deadlight, from Interface Death, Paranormal Quest, Haunted Minds, the crypto show with Goose, and Into the Abyss with Sean Gilmore. You guys have a good night. I'll see you next time. Do you have that drive? That morbid curiosity to explore the darkness? Do you have what it takes to brave the night? You do? Good. Deadlight. For those who aren't afraid to see what lurks in the night.
This is Jason Bland, host of Midwest Paranormal Presents Paranormal Soup, where we stream live as a webcast every Sunday night, 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. Eastern, with guests who will blow your mind. Live ghost box sessions where you can call into the show to see if the spirits will talk to you, and the world wide web of weird with the latest in paranormal news and evidence. We're bringing the weird every Sunday night, 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. Eastern on our Facebook page and YouTube channel. Don't forget to follow and subscribe.
Welcome to Ground Zero. This is the talk of the talk. You know, everybody is captivated by this area. This is what I call the asylum. When I first purchased the place, it wasn't hard to know that this has been whitewashed. Everybody has their sort of the boogeyman. When you're young and growing up, be good. The boogeyman's gonna get you. Well, you wanna know what the boogeyman in Madison is? It's this place. You grew up here and you acted up in front of your parents, you get sent here. Now that sends a red flag. If this was a nice facility and everyone was being taken care of, why are you gonna send them here? Something was happening behind these walls.
Hi, I'm Eric McGill.
And I'm David Woolever.
And we are paranormal investigators, welcoming you to join us as we put new theories to the test and attempt to explain strange phenomena. We invite you on a journey that will give you a glimpse into our haunted minds. Hi guys, Eric McGill here, RU Media Network and Our Haunted Minds. I just want to talk to you guys real quick about the awesome stuff going on behind the scenes. The Our Haunted Minds video is coming along swimmingly, and it's really going to be awesome. As you guys know, Adam Kimmel is joining us for the first investigation with Dave and I. And then after that, we may have Chris, or we may have Becca, or we may have Ashley. But it's really exciting, and you guys are not going to want to miss this first one. A lot of awesome stuff happened.
Hello, everyone. I'm the Goose.
And I'm Michael Bradley.
Is that what you're calling yourself tonight?
Heisenberg.
Not the Angry Kitty.
Max Braggins.
Anywho, we're the hosts of the Cryptic Paranormal Show.
On our show, we'll talk about all things paranormal except Bigfoot. He freaks me out.
Really, dude?
You know that, but I mean, I guess we could talk about him as long as I don't have to see him.
We will talk. As a matter of fact, we'll talk about all fields in the paranormal realm.
And every week, we will interview new guests, celebrities, and researchers in the field, and all our comrades in the paranormal underground.
And we aren't afraid to ask the hard questions no one else will. Our conversations are rooted in our own experiences as paranormal investigators.
So be prepared to have your minds, your opinions, and your beliefs challenged.
And let's not forget to warn them about all the tomfoolery and shenanigans. Let's just say, you might want to put the kiddos to bed before tuning in. They don't call us the paranormal shock jocks for nothing.
Do they call us that?
If they don't, they will.
So be sure to tune into the Cryptic Paranormal Show every Thursday night from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, only on RU Media Network.
Spook you later, crypto heads.
Bye.
Shut up.
Welcome into the Abyss with your host, Sean Gilmore. Open your mind, both of your ears, and all three of your eyes to discuss all things supernatural with weekly special guests. We believe that we all learn from each other, and we all have a lot to learn. What will you learn today? Here is your host, Sean Gilmore.
On Saturday, November 30th, take your journey into the supernatural into one of Ohio's most wicked jails. Built in 1889, the old Licking County Jail was home to its fair share of dangerous inmates, leading to 14 inmate deaths as well as 4 sheriffs. These violent deaths inevitably led to the closure of the jail in 1987. Join us for a night of history and an overnight ghost hunt you'll never forget. Your journey awaits.
show. I'd like to see you. What the fuck was that?